The Chiefs have a big-time roster battle brewing at wide receiver, and there's been an unexpected standout through the first 2 weeks of OTAs. But this may cause a problem if it turns out to be only an illusion of something more than it really is. It may be preventing Brett Veach from seriously considering a free agent move at this point. So today, I'm giving you the rundown on who is stealing the show in almost every single practice to date. Plus, we'll be analyzing all the coaches' insights they provided for us today. However, I just can't get over this standout wide receiver. Who in the world is this Jacob DeJesus kid? And is he actually for real? Let's talk about it. So before we break down exactly what the coaches had to say today, smash that like button so we can eclipse 500 likes and hit that sub button to support the channel. Look, let's get into the reality of where this roster is at right now. We need to ground ourselves in what we actually saw on the field this week and last week. So according to Pete Sweeney, we didn't see Chris Jones or Travis Kelce at practice today on Wednesday, and Patrick Mahomes was basically still just limited to 7-on-7 work and some individual drills. We also saw Jake Brenningstool, John Michael Gillenborg, and Omar Norman Lott watching without their helmets, which indicates they are still recovering from several different injuries. Xavier Worthy and Jaden Hicks were still in non-contact jerseys, but the big positive here, and we kind of needed this, is that Christian Fulton is finally back out there and working, which is vital for that secondary depth. There's a lot of young pieces back there, and his veteran leadership could really speed up some of their learning curves. But let's get to this Jacob DeJesus situation because it is becoming hard to ignore at this point. If Worthy is limited and we're seeing guys like DeJesus coming in and providing a real spark, this could be what's holding Veach back from dropping much needed money on a wide receiver vet. DeJesus had 3 receptions and 7-on-7 drills today, including an impressive catch over the middle as stated by Matt McMullen. And last week, he was doing the same kinds of things. We have to ask ourselves, are we watching a breakout here, or is this just a camp body taking advantage of a thin depth chart? That's what we're all trying to figure out today. At least I am. So let's talk a bit more about the offense and focus on Eric Bieniemy and what he was asked today at his presser. We know the energy this guy brings. You've got Worthy and Tyquan Thornton hauling in deep throws, which is great, but EB and Chad O'Shea isn't looking for just more deep threat speed. They want actual football players, in my opinion, people who are smart and they run precise routes. I've got the clips from today's press conference. Let's listen to what he had to say when he was asked about his time as OC and other stops and what he learned from that.
Coach, I want to ask you, during your time away, what do you feel like you've learned either being an OC in Washington, UCLA, and running backs coach with Chicago that has helped make you a better coach, as you saying here today?
I just think that when you go different places, there's a lot of things that you can learn. You learn the value of how you're treating people. On top of that, how you're engaging and interacting within the organization. I think all of that is important. And then just being open to new and different ways of doing things. I think that helps with growth. And sometimes, with all that, sometimes when you experience failure, it gives you a tremendous opportunity to hit the reset button, and it helps you to grow and push you forward. So with all that being said, I've had some great experiences at a number of places, whether it was in Washington or whether it was at UCLA back at the college game. And then having that opportunity to coach in Chicago and experiencing that and, watching those guys have the success that they have. So there's been a number of things, and I'm happy with the growth, and I'm just enjoying it and continue moving forward as we continue to progress.
And so that's the mindset, right? But you got to love the tough love aspect he brings to this team. EB is even challenging Kenneth Walker to become a better player when the ball isn't in his hands. He specifically mentioned he wants him to get better at pass protection and route running out of the backfield. He's not going to let anyone cruise on just raw natural talent.
Very competitive. Very competitive. He's a hard worker. Does not take anything for granted. He's what you want. You love his approach in the building. He's very professional in the classroom, and he hates being wrong, So you love all of that about him. Now it's just about making sure he has the what's, the whys, and the hows down on how we going to get him to be the player that we need him to be. But the thing that I love, he does not take anything for granted. The kid works his tail off in the classroom, in the weight room, and on the field as well.
And then there's the Rashee Rice situation. When asked about Rice, EB shut that down immediately. He deferred completely to what Coach Reed had said in the past. And that tells you everything you need to know about how they want the internal messaging to sound right now about Rashee Rice. They want it unified, focused, and not getting distracted by the headlines. Hey guys, we're giving away a free 20-ounce bottle of Zarda BBQ sauce, plus some extra goodies. And all you have to do to be entered in the giveaway is to like this video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, we appreciate Zarda and everything they do for the channel. Go support Zarda, have some dinner, tell them All Chiefed Up sent you their way. So let's switch things over to the defense for a bit. Honestly, the secondary looks like a dogfight back there. We got Mansour Delane. He had a couple pass breakups today on some quick slants. That was according to Matt McMullen. That's exactly what you want to see from him. And then there was Jaden Hicks. Again, this guy without pads on is everywhere. He knocked down multiple passes in 7-on-7 drills, according to Matt as well. I mean, that's the kind of activity you love to see from a safety. But are we going to continue to get this play and awareness, or are we going to settle back into last year's problems, where he hardly even seen the field? Consistency, I think, seems to be Hicks' only major flaw at this point in time. Let's hope he gets it together. So moving on to another lingering problem for the Chiefs as of late, the health factor. Steve Spagnuolo talked today and wasn't really sugarcoating anything. According to Charles Goldman, Spag said, "We got to get Omar healthy again," regarding Omar Norman-Lott and that ACL injury he suffered last year. He knows we need those bodies in the rotation, and we absolutely do. There's no question we need a pass rusher like Norman-Lott back to 100% and doing what he does best, and that's hunt the quarterback. He also gave us a window into how this new staff is collaborating together. Spags mentioned that new running back coach DeMarco Murray provided some invaluable insight on R. Mason Thomas based on his time around the kid at Oklahoma. And look, I've speculated that was probably the case going all the way back as far as draft night. So good to hear that my intuition seems to be on point. But yes, Spags went on to say, that's why you hire guys with specific backgrounds. They see things in practice that nobody else does. I think I speak for all of Chiefs Kingdom when I say we're excited for R. Mason Thomas, but let's please just use the guy for what he's intended to do and not throttle him and keep him on the bench all year if he can't set an edge perfectly. Chiefs Kingdom, we have officially partnered with Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports platform. It's distinctly separate from a traditional sports book, and it's the absolute best way to add some extra heat to every single game. The app is incredibly easy to use. You aren't playing against sharks. You're just picking more or less on an individual player projection. Think Kenneth Walker's total rushing yards per game, more or less. Travis Kelce's total touchdowns in 2026, only 4, more or less. You just pick at least 2 players, lock in your lineup, and you're in the action. Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, Florida, and right here in the heart of America, Missouri and Kansas. One thing we love is the new public feed. You can actually find and follow us directly on the app at All Chiefed Up. You'll be able to see our live lineups and tell our picks before we even post them here on the channel or our other social media platforms. So if you haven't joined yet, just download the app and use code HMA when you sign up. When you play your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in lineups instantly. Click the link in the description, use code HMA, and remember to always play responsibly. Now back to the show. And finally, let's talk about Dave Toub. The man speaks his mind, and you either get on board or you don't, I guess. That's one thing about him. In his presser today, Toub basically told us that rookie defensive back Jaden Kennedy is going to be a 4-phase special teamer right away.
Yeah, he's a guy that he's going to be playing all 4 phases for sure, right off the bat. We're looking at him at gunner, obviously corner on punt return, and he'll be a 2 coming off the edge on kickoff and kick return. We could play him in a lot of spots except kick returner, So, he's a guy. He's definitely one, and Delane's been working great too in there too. I mean, he's got good experience as a special teams guy as well.
And that's massive. That's a lock for the roster, 100%, no doubt. and I fully believe Kennedy can provide defensive help in the nickel and special teams value. Toub also mentioned a few guys that could likely replace that Leo Chanel role he had on special teams. Toub mentioned that Ethan Downs and Coop McDonald are the closest players to Leo Chanel on special teams. Now, of course, he didn't speak on what they bring defensively because that's Spag's job, not his. But Leo was a massive special teams contributor, and so Downs and Coop McDonald are likely going to be doing similar things there. That may even be something to watch in camp when it comes down to those final couple roster spots and the name of Ethan Downs. And for the return game, we should keep an eye on this maybe. Toub specifically named Emmett Johnson and E.J. Smith as potential returner candidates. Now, we've known about Emmett Johnson for a week or so doing this, but to mention E.J. Smith now gives him a little bit of buzz and hype. I still don't think it's going to produce a major role or a roster spot for Smith, but just landing on the practice squad for someone with his talents is a pretty big deal. He could always be a future player that comes out of nowhere. It's happened before. Maybe it happens with him. So here's where I land. I think Jacob DeJesus could be special. Absolutely. But we aren't going to really know that until we put the pads on and we hit each other a little bit. I don't in any way believe his possible breakout should deter Brett Veach from signing another wide receiver if we can make it work on the cap. Either it's Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, or someone else. We need someone. But I will say this. Jacob DeJesus is fascinating, and he's a fascinating name to watch right now. Is he the real deal, or is he a classic OTA standout who disappears when the pads come on? That's the million-dollar question. So let me know in the comments. Are you buying the hype again on a wide receiver in the offseason, or are you over these practice standouts? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found any value in today's episode. Thanks for watching. Go Chiefs.